Welcome to Vibin with Ashley Live. I'm your host, the one and only Ashley Live. Thank you guys for joining me this evening, episode 105, with the incredibly talented singer, songwriter, multi-instrumentalist, Bradley Sinclair. He's originally from Michigan, but currently lives in Nashville. So from a young age, Bradley taught himself instruments, and earlier this year, he was featured on season 20 of NBC's hit show, The Voice. He was on Team Nick Jonas. His recent single, Leave You Wanting More, was released in June. So thank you for joining us this evening. And I'm excited for you guys to learn a little bit more about Bradley. Bradley just entered the room. So Bradley, whenever you're ready, come on in. Hi, Bradley.
Hi there. How are you?
I'm doing well. How's your day going?
It's going well. Yeah, not too shabby.
Awesome. Well, I just want to say thank you so much for coming on this show. I'm really excited to chat with you, learn a little bit more about your musical journey, your time on The Voice. You're going to sing for us, and then you're going to take some questions for the audience.
Yeah, sounds like a plan.
Awesome. So let's just hop right into it. So I start off each show with a song lyric. So tonight's song lyric is going to be from the one and only Alan Stone. I know he's one of your favorites. So I'm going to sing, I'm not going to sing. I'm just going to say a couple lyrics from Unaware from Alan Stone. So you either tell me what this song means to you or what Alan Stone as a musician means to you.
For sure. I love it.
Awesome. You say that you care. I was unaware. All you do is push, pull, tear. We can't stretch it any farther.
Yeah, I love that song. That was that was like the first song that I've ever heard Alan Stone.
Yeah.
It was a video that popped up on my YouTube of a kid on Idol, I don't know, like 4 years ago.
Yeah.
They did like you could sing a song with someone, and he picked Alan Stone. So Alan Stone came and sang Unaware with him.
Yeah.
And the kid was good, but I was like, I hadn't heard of Alan Stone yet. And I was like, who is this guy? So, I mean, he blew me away the moment he opened his mouth, but now I'm just obsessed. Like, I know all his music and everything. Yeah, that chorus, into that like breakdown. All you do is push, pull, tear. I can't stretch any farther. It's just like it's that feeling of you care about somebody, and so you like keep trying over and over to make that relationship work, right? But it just gets to a point where it's not worth it any longer.
Yeah.
And that's at least my interpretation of it. Who knows what he would say, but yeah, that speaking of, you say that you care about me, and I keep trying to like see that, but but it doesn't seem obvious. And then just we've pushed it too far. We can't do it anymore.
It's got to be a two-way street. Like if I'm the only one pushing and you keep pushing back, like what are we doing? We're like in this cat and mouse game.
Right, exactly.
So I want to start at childhood, when music first came into your life. So you started playing your brother's drum set, then you started singing, and then you taught yourself all these really cool instruments. So bring us back to that time and what music was like in your childhood.
Yeah, I wasn't raised in like a musical family.
Mm-hmm.
My oldest brother, I'm one of four. I have two brothers and a sister. I'm the youngest.
Mm-hmm.
And my oldest brother got a drum set when he was like 13. I think he saved up his money, and my parents agreed to like pay for half if he saved the other half. My dad always jokes that he didn't think he would do it. That's why he agreed to pay for the other half of the drum set. But,
yeah.
The money, mowing lawns and whatnot. And I mean, there's like a video of me like in my diaper, like banging on the drum set. But yeah, I mean, all in elementary school, I played the drums at like talent shows and stuff. And like, it was just basic drum beats. And then in middle school, I decided to, you had to choose between three, like, art things. Once we got to sixth grade, like, you could either be in choir, band, or this third one. I can't remember. It was the people that didn't want to do music.
Yeah.
And I, like, talked to my older siblings, and my other brother, Kevin, was like, it's all girls in choir, join choir. Okay. So I joined choir, and, like, I was a decent singer. Like, I was always pretty good in, like, music class, but never really thought about it. Like, in elementary school, I mean.
Yeah.
Like, we never thought much of it. I didn't take it seriously. I asked for a guitar for Christmas and got an electric guitar. Like, I got this little mini Stratocaster, like, oh gosh, in, like, third grade.
Yeah.
And then, like, begged my parents for it because I wanted one so bad. And then I took, like, 3 lessons and gave up. And then I didn't pick up a instrument again other than banging on the drums without much skill until, like, 7th grade. I started learning piano. We found a piano in, like, in a relative's garage. Mm-hmm. And it wasn't a real piano. It was just a little dinky keyboard with built-in speakers. And I learned Michael Bublé's, can you hear that? How did that?
Oh, yeah.
That was the first song I ever learned, that little tune. And I literally asked for a piano, like, because I wanted to learn that song. And then
that's cool.
Just, like, I'm pretty sure that I learned, like, a cheap version of Don't Stop Believing in, like, 8th grade and played that for, like, a year. And it was the only thing I knew how to play. And I'm sure I annoyed anyone that ever had to come near me while playing piano because that was, like, the only song I knew. And then, like, early high school, started getting a little more serious with it just so that I could, like, accompany myself. Mm-hmm. And all the instruments I've learned have kind of been that way. I've taught myself just enough of it to make you think that I can play the instrument well and to really accompany my singing. So, like, if people ask me, like, oh, what type of musician are you? I tell them I'm a singer. Yeah. They're like, do you play instruments? I'm like, I do, yeah. But really just so I can fake it enough to sing. Which is easier than you'd think. You don't need to know that much. People think you do, but no, the singing is definitely my passion. And obviously in middle school, when I started singing in choir, I found that I loved it and that I had a knack for it. So took off from there.
Awesome. So as far as, like, piano and guitar, you taught yourself both, right?
Yep. Yeah.
So how did you teach yourself these instruments?
Actually, both pretty similarly. What I would do is, like, the very first song, Haven't Met You Yet, I just watched a YouTube video of, like, a tutorial, and it was, like, a above view of somebody's fingers playing it really slowly, and I just kind of mimicked it.
Yeah.
And then, like, a few more songs of that, and then I started learning chords. And so I would, like, look up a song that I wanted to learn how to play, and then I would look up, like, the chord charts to it. And then I would just Google, like, if I didn't know the chord yet, like, you learn, like, the basic chords. Right. But then, like, that was all I knew was, like, C major. And then I was like, okay, well, I can't play every song in C major because it's not all in my range. So I had to learn. And I would just Google, like, oh, I didn't know how to play an F sharp minor. So I would just Google F sharp minor piano chord. And then now I know how to play F sharp minor. And that type of stuff. Like, and the black keys were so, like, it took me so long to brave myself into the sharps and flats of the keyboard.
Oh, wow.
Just because playing, honestly, in the key of C is, like, the easiest thing in the world. Mm-hmm. Like, every do it because literally every note is in this key. Every white key is in the scale of C major. Yep. And so that's a very easy key to start and learn in because you can just ignore all the sharps and flats. But then learning the chords, and then I did the same thing with guitar pretty much. I didn't start playing a guitar until, like, later. I think I got my first guitar, like, sophomore year of high school. Mm-hmm. I got like a cruddy acoustic guitar from Guitar Center. And now I have a lot of guitars.
Yeah, I was going to ask you that. How many guitars do you have?
Right now, we're actually pretty low. Back when I lived in Michigan at my parents' house before moving to Nashville, there was a lot more. But right now, I have 2 acoustic guitars, 2 electric guitars, and a bass.
Oh, wow. And how many are back in Michigan?
Well, no, I've sold all those, but I used to have, at one point I had like 4 acoustic guitars, like 3 electric guitars, had 2 bass guitars at one point.
Mm-hmm.
I had like 6 keyboards at one point. I was a hoarder. I was living in my parents' basement and I had a job, so I just bought a lot of things, but have since downsized to a smaller space.
So, of the guitars that you have now, do you have a favorite?
Yeah. I mean, I love my acoustic. I have an acoustic guitar and a classical acoustic guitar.
Okay.
The classical guitar is actually my dad's from like college. I don't even think he knows I have it.
Oh, wow. He'll know now.
He doesn't play. We have another acoustic that I've left at the house, and every time I'm home, he asks me to retune it for him.
Mm-hmm.
He never played it while I was gone, and he's like, "It's out of tune again," and I'm like, "Yeah, that's because you haven't touched it." So I tune it again for him to sit it in the corner of his room and not touch it.
Right.
But I like the classical guitar a lot for writing. There's something like vibey about nylon strings.
Mm-hmm.
But the acoustic guitar is my baby. It was like the first like mildly high-end piece of gear I bought myself. And I've had it for like 6 years now, and it won't ever leave my fleet. I rotate most of my electric guitars and whatnot, but
yeah,
the acoustic, the Yamaha will stay.
It's like they're your children. You're like, I'm not parting with you. Like,
yeah, right. Some of them are. Yeah, I mean, there's very few things that I'm like super attached to in like I have an electric guitar probably that I won't ever get rid of because it was a quarantine project that I like pieced together myself and like put all of my favorite things on it. So I'll show you. It's very pretty.
Yeah.
So this one also won't ever leave.
Cool.
Jazzmaster body with a Telecaster neck and tuner. And pickup layout is on the Telecaster as well.
Very cool.
It's a Frankencaster,
mm-hmm.
but I love it.
Awesome. I love it. So we need to talk about this picture behind you. That's the one and only Stevie Wonder.
It sure is. The man and the myth all in one.
Yes. How long have you had that photo?
I actually just got this like last year. When I moved down here, I was like, I need a poster.
Yeah.
I bought the poster on Amazon and bought the frame as well and just threw it in there. But Stevie was like the first musician that ever like gave me the desire to like do music. I got to see him my freshman year of high school.
Really?
Yeah, on potentially his last tour ever. We'll see if he does another one, but
wow.
Yeah, that was awesome. So we love that guy.
Yeah, well, I just feel like a lot of people haven't seen Stevie live, so to have the experience to see him in his element, just with all the songs he sings, I mean, like I feel like he can't even put most of his songs in a set because the sets are too short.
Yeah, no, it was a 3.5-hour performance.
Wow.
Yeah, and he didn't have an opener. Yeah, it was easily the longest concert I've ever been to. Yeah. And like I've been to a couple John Mayer shows, and he does really long shows too, like 25 song sets, but Stevie had to have been like in the 30s because he literally did 3.5 hours with one intermission. Wow. And it was super delayed. It was in Detroit. I'm from Michigan, Grand Rapids, and so we drove over to Detroit for it, me and my sister. And there was a huge snowstorm, so everybody was like late because of the snowstorm.
Right.
So he didn't start the show for like an hour and 15 minutes after it was supposed to, because he wanted like to let everybody get there. And they did. Everybody showed up. It was full. But so it didn't end till like 1 a.m, and everybody, like, some people were just like leaving, honestly, before it ended, because he was playing for so long.
Yeah.
And I'll admit it, I was tired afterwards, but I wasn't about to leave. But that was awesome. It was his Songs in the Key of Life tour, which is my all-time favorite album of anybody. So that was pretty cool to see.
Yes. Oh my gosh, that's so cool. You were able to have that experience, even in a crazy snowstorm.
Yeah, it was pretty fantastic.
Yeah. And when I think of long shows, I know what you mean. Once it gets to be like 2.5 hours, you're kind of like, oh, I'm kind of tired. Maybe I should leave. And you're like, no, but this is like the once in a lifetime opportunity to see a legendary musician just do his thing.
Exactly. Yeah. It was a bit ridiculous, but it was awesome.
Mm-hmm. Walk us through your creative process.
Like songwriting?
Yeah.
Oh gosh, it's very dependent, honestly.
Mm-hmm.
I've written songs by myself. I write a lot of my songs with my producer.
Mm-hmm.
And it turns out as like I'll write 70% of a song, and we'll finish it together and tune the knobs and everything. Honestly, my songwriting has not been, it's been very sporadic.
Yeah.
My career so far, it's been very like, it just depends. I write a lot of times like really late at night. Like I'll be laying in bed watching Netflix, about to go to bed, and like just think of something. Like I think of a phrase or a tune, and I just get out of bed and write it. Yeah, honestly, it's just very dependent on a lot of time. It's just in the moment, honestly, which is a little frustrating, because sometimes you need to force yourself to write, and you can't. And then like when you aren't in the spot that you can like sit down with an instrument and write, I think of something and I have to like jot it down and come back to it later. But very sporadic.
Yeah, I hear that a lot. Some people are driving or they're like in the shower and they keep singing it to themselves, and they're like, oh my God, I have to record this or write it down so I don't lose it. Exactly.
Yeah. I did write one song entirely. I wrote the entire song in the shower. Like I was feeling it and I just kept going.
Yeah.
This song doesn't exist anymore. It was in high school, but I was like, that was crazy. I literally like just kept repeating the verses, and I memorized them. And as soon as I finished it, I like quick stopped the shower and like sang it into my phone. And yeah, it's funny.
Oh, I love that. So you said that Alan Stone and Stevie are some of your biggest influences. Who else inspires you musically?
Yeah, production wise, I love what Coldplay does. A lot of I think you can hear a lot of Coldplay inspiration in the production of my music. I love some indie rock bands like Young the Giant is a really I love those guys. I love just pretty much anything that's like moody. I love Capaldi. He's not very indie rocky. I feel like especially some of my newer stuff that you'll be hearing soon, like Leave You Wanting More, that just came out, and some newer stuff that's coming is very like Louis Capaldi melodics. My vocal lines are very powerful and Louis Capaldi-esque, but then throwing like indie rock stuff underneath, like Coldplay and that type of vibes. Yeah.
When I first listened to your music, I was like, oh my gosh, there's so many elements of Coldplay that I hear, and I love it because it's just like, I love to hear the influence of other musicians and other people. Like, it's so cool when people say, hey, I'm inspired by Stevie or Alan or Coldplay, and I'm like, oh my gosh, it's like I hear all of Chris in you and in your music.
Yeah, awesome. Thank you.
So who would you most like to collaborate with?
I think that if I could collaborate with anybody, like right now, it would probably be either John Mayer or Louis Capaldi. Like if you're gonna jump on a single with them or something, it'd probably be you guys. Yeah. Yeah.
Those are great. Those are great choices because Louis for his vocals, but then Oh, and Denisha's in the chat as well.
Or Denisha, yeah.
So we need to see this. We need to see this collab between you guys.
I'm gonna make that happen. Denisha's coming to town this weekend. Denise, you want to do a little collab while you're here?
I think she's down. She's like in the chat talking about it.
No, we'll make something happen for sure.
Love it. So earlier this year, you were on season 20 of The Voice, and you sung "Say You Won't Let Go" by James Arthur. What about this song made you pick it for your blind audition?
Yeah. Do you want the truth?
I do want the truth.
I didn't pick it.
Okay. I appreciate that.
They picked it for me. They I think it was one of the it was one of the like the options I gave them.
Okay.
But I love that song. I mean that song came out when I was like in high school, I think. And it was in like my top 10 or whatever we had to submit.
Mm-hmm.
But I love that tune. Just James Arthur has an incredible voice, and his writing is super inspiring as well. So it was definitely an honor to sing that tune, and it was cool too. He tweeted at me afterwards, which was cool because James Arthur noticed me singing his song, so that was cool.
Yeah. I think that's so awesome. So wait, okay, you gave them 10 songs that you wanted to sing, right?
Yeah, something like that.
So did you think in your head, oh my gosh, I really want to sing this one for my blind?
For the blind, I'm trying to remember what would have been like this is the song. Honestly, I wanted to sing big band music on the show.
Okay.
Because big band is like my dream genre to sing, but I can't afford 30 people behind me, but I knew NBC could. So I was like, what if we let me do big band? But they were like, nah, we're probably going to do some pop music because you and like 3 people's grandpa would be the only people that like these Dean Martin tunes. But no, I mean, I think that my number one was Me and Mrs. Jones, which is a big band tune.
Yeah.
Old-timey jazz one.
Yeah.
But I think that Say You Won't Let Go is like 2 or 3. I had a couple Louis Capaldi tunes on there.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. That would have been so cool to see you do big band though, because I love when someone comes on the stage and then they sing something and you're like, oh wow, I haven't heard that song in a while, or maybe I don't know what that song is.
Right. Yeah, no, I love doing that. It's a good time. We're actually doing, I'm super stoked about it. This Christmas, I don't know how many people in Michigan are going to watch this, but in Grand Rapids, there is a new venue called the Listening Room, and it's like this jazz club. It's all seated, cocktail lounge, like super high end sound. And me and my buddy, who's a jazz saxophonist, are doing we're putting a full band together and doing a big Christmas show. So I am going to get to do some big band stuff.
Awesome. Did you have you actually announced that, or was this the announcement?
No, we haven't like posted about it yet because it's really far away. But yeah.
That's very cool.
Yeah, so that'll be fun.
Oh my gosh. You're going to have to let me know when the show is so we can promote it closer to the date.
Yeah, that'd be great. Yeah, I mean, I'll be posting about it for sure once I got to fill out the ticket sales stuff and everything still. But
yeah. So let's go back to that blind audition. So Kelly Clarkson and Nick Jonas turned to you.
Yeah.
And both wanted you really bad. And you were like, hey, Nick, I want to sing Old School Jonas with you. Jonas Brothers with you.
Yeah.
So why did you end up picking Nick?
Yeah. Honestly, there was something. It was probably just like growing up. I mean, it was probably the same thing I said in the moment, but it was just like growing up, watching him and like having him be like I used to watch Camp Rock like once a week.
Yeah.
And I loved the Old School Jonas Brothers tunes. And so it was probably just like that nostalgia, the excitement of getting to work with somebody that you've seen for so long. And Kelly Clarkson is amazing. but I mean, I wasn't like a huge Kelly Clarkson fan growing up.
Yeah.
I am now. But growing up, it was definitely like, man, Nick Jonas.
Yeah.
I really missed my opportunity should have waited a year though, because Ariana Grande, man.
Yeah, that's going to be awesome.
Yeah, I would have just liked to be in a room with her.
Oh my gosh, yes. I heard she's
Very, so I missed my shot.
I know, but she was dating a lot. She was dating like everybody.
Yeah, me though.
I know. I mean, she's so little, but she has such this big voice. So I'm really excited to see what she does as a judge.
Yeah, I think she's going to be a good coach because, I mean, she had an insane growth period in her voice. So I think that'll help. I mean, like hearing her sing on Victorious versus like what she does now live is like just eons different. So she definitely had some good coaching. So hopefully she can bring some of that to the table.
Of course. So what's Nick like as a coach?
Yeah, Nick Jonas is a very chill, cool guy person, which was funny when we worked on the battle performance because he had Darren Criss there.
Yeah.
Darren Criss was like the complete opposite. Darren was like super enthusiastic and like high energy working like in that scenario, and Nick was very like laid back and like Joe cool guy.
Yeah.
It was cool. It was interesting. I mean, he definitely knows what he's talking about. Like he's done everything. He's done musicals on Broadway, musical movies, TV shows, movies, world tours. So he definitely knows his stuff. So it was definitely an honor to be able to get some tips from him.
Mm-hmm. What was one thing that you learned from him that you'll take with you wherever you go?
Oh, man. A good question. I don't know if it's like I didn't really get a ton of like big inspiring things from him when we worked together, but something that just like me and Rachel sang Your Song by Elton John.
Yeah.
And it's like a pretty melancholy, emotional song.
Yeah.
And he just like kind of told us to like give the feeling that we're smiling, like no matter what we're singing about. And just like bringing a light energy to your performances, regardless of like what the tune is, make sad songs still like exciting. So that was the word.
Yeah. And what was one of the most memorable moments that you had on?
Most memorable moments I had, just like on the show, period.
Yeah.
One of my favorite parts of the show, weirdly enough, was during stage rehearsals for Blind Auditions. Me and my buddy Victor Solomon made it to the finals in top 5. And he was a good friend of mine, and we did our stage rehearsals together. Like they shipped us to the two of us in a van to the place, and then I went, and then he went, and I got to sit on the side. I went first, and then he went right after me, and I got to like sit on the side of the stage and watch him do his stage rehearsal. Yeah. And it was kind of like it was for some reason more. It was crazier for me to like sit there and watch right from the side and see like oh shit, this is happening.
Yeah.
It was even when I was like just on the stage. And also like that was the first time that I had heard Vic like sing. Like we would mess around at the hotel and whatnot, but it was the first time that he was just like, he was singing Glory by John Legend. Yeah. I literally was like pooping my pants on the set with how good he was and is. And so that was really cool. Just like being in that moment, like that's a moment that I can still like throw into my mind and like see it perfectly. So for a while.
Yeah, because the thing is, you become such good friends with these people, and then you're like, oh wait, this is a singing competition. We're like all in competition against each other.
Yeah.
Wait, everybody is so phenomenal on this show.
Yeah. Well, I mean, I was just glad I wasn't on Vic's team from the get-go, because I was like, oh, that's a one-way ticket to home.
So you're originally from Michigan, and then you moved to Nashville. So why did you want to move to Nashville?
Yeah. A couple reasons. There was, and it wasn't like a big, part of it is because I could. Like I worked, I saved, and moved into I used to live in the city in Michigan, Grand Rapids, and then I decided I was going to move to Nashville. So for like the last 6 months, I moved back into my parents' basement because I didn't want to sign another lease.
Yeah.
And so saved up a little money and quit my job with Apple, and just kind of went for it just because I could. And
yeah.
You don't know how long you're going to be able to say that.
Totally.
Just do something like that, you know? And my producer lives here, and he already did. So I was already like traveling to Nashville to record. So living here made it a lot easier to record, because I can just be like, hey, what are you doing on Tuesday? And he's like, oh, I got a couple hours, and I can come by for a couple hours, and that type of stuff. And instead of having to be like, hey, what are you doing 6 months from now? I'm going to book a flight. We're going to get 4 songs done in 3 days. Then we need to go for 12 hours every day.
Yeah. Yeah.
And honestly, the music industry is all about finding the right people and the connections to make. Everybody on here, and you yourself have probably seen that people with really good connections and not that much talent have made it. And hopefully that's not the case for me. Hopefully keep the talent and make the connections. But
right.
Yeah, it's a lot about the connections. So just being in a place like Nashville where everybody you meet is in the music world in some way, shape, or form. And you meet 5 people a day that say, oh, I work for this studio, or I work for this record label, and then one of them likes you, and you talk more, and then you make connections. So that's kind of the point for the music drive, at least. Everybody always is like, oh, you moved to Nashville to like play a bunch of shows in Nashville? And I'm like, no, like I don't sing country music, so like I'm not just gonna go play a bunch of country gigs. Like I play shows, I do writers rounds here, and a couple of varieties of shows as well, but it's really about like the networking.
Yeah. I think Nashville is so amazing for music because there's so many venues, there's so many musicians and producers and people to meet down there.
Yeah.
Personally never been, but I've heard it's amazing.
Pretty great. You got to check it out.
Definitely.
Where are you?
I'm from Syracuse, New York, so upstate New York, and then I lived in New York City for about 10 years. But I actually moved back in with my mom during the pandemic as well, and I'm still with her. So
you hear it? You love it?
Hey, I mean, like, you got to do what you got to do. Like, New York City was the epicenter of the pandemic.
Oh, it was ridiculous.
When it first started and nobody knew it was going to happen, I was like, oh, this will blow over in a couple months. And I'm like, how are we still in this?
That's what we all thought, too. When we got sent home from Apple, we were all, like, in the Apple store, like, making jokes. Like, oh, we get 3 weeks paid vacation. And
yeah.
They sent us home for 3 weeks was what they told us, like, the second day we got sent home.
Right.
And then we didn't reopen the Apple store for 4 months.
Wow. Did they still pay you for that time?
Oh, yeah.
Amazing.
Yeah, we had to do, like, at-home work. But I didn't really do anything, if I'm being honest.
I appreciate your honesty. I love it, actually.
Yeah. I got by pretending, but so good. Played a lot of Xbox. Between that and being stuck quarantined in a hotel in LA for 4 weeks, I got really good at Xbox.
I'm sure. Because, I mean, what can you do when you're just, like, in a hotel room? You're just like, my options are kind of limited.
Yeah. Nope. To play Xbox, I read all 7 Harry Potters for the first time.
Wow.
Yeah. It was a good experience. I watched New Girl all the way through.
Nice.
Yeah.
So I want to talk about your time at Apple and your love of phones and computers. So you still love playing with gadgets?
Yeah. Yeah. I love Apple. I will be an Apple fanboy till the day I die.
Yeah.
I mean, I was pulled to the store probably because of their product. And then I was just like, I stayed and loved it so much because like the atmosphere and the environment of working there was just spectacular.
Yeah.
And there was something fulfilling about like teaching people about products and like helping them with them and like advancing I love the advancements of technology.
Yeah.
And it turns like it can be bad how much I like advancing technology a little bit with the job that I had, because it's also a retail environment where you have to, like, if the customer thinks that they want one thing, you can try to convince them what you know is like a better option, but you obviously can't force it on them.
Yeah.
And like multiple times where people would just like want to keep their super outdated devices and keep getting them repaired.
Oh my gosh.
Advancing them. And I'm like, your life, they're like, it's so much to learn. I'm like, it's like 3 days of a learning curve. And then you're way happier with your device. But I'm not allowed to say that to people. I'm not allowed to just be like, buy the damn phone or like,
right.
like
Yeah. No,
throw this piece of junk away and get it something new. But
totally. I'm obsessed with my iPhone, and anytime I go into the Apple store, everybody is so nice to me, and I'm like, oh, I'm so confused. I mean, I'm just open to like whatever they say. They're like, oh, just get a new phone. I'm like, okay, fine, I will, because you told me to.
Right. Yeah, it is it's tricky, but it's great.
Yeah. So I guess, what is one thing about the iPhone that a lot of people don't know, but they should know?
The biggest misconception about iPhones, and it's hilarious because people at the store would it took me, it would take like 3 back and forths before they finally realized, wait, you do know what you're talking about, when I would tell them this. But on the old phones, you would double click and it would pop up and you could swipe away apps. On the new ones, you like pull up and then you can swipe away apps. Closing out apps actually drains your battery more, and it is bad for your device. And everybody and their brother thinks that it saves your battery by closing out the apps.
Really?
Yeah. So the technical science behind it is, every time you close out an app like that, do you have an Apple computer as well?
No, I have a Microsoft Surf Pro.
Okay. Do you have an iPad? Same thing.
I have an iPad and I have an iPhone, but I do like everything for my iPhone.
Yeah. So like on a computer, you can exit out of an application, but it doesn't fully quit the application unless you right click on it and hit the force quit button. Okay. Like completely shuts down the application. Yeah. You exit out, it is open still. It's like running in the background. And that's the same thing as your apps on your phone. So if you just leave it, that's like hitting the X on a window on your computer. Mm-hmm. And then if you swipe it out, that's quitting that app fully. So it's like shutting the app down. So the way to describe it is, it would be like if you picked up your phone, went on Instagram, and then set it down to go do something, and you turned off your phone every time that you set it down to go do something, and then repowered it on every time you wanted to pick it up again. Yeah. And that's like the process that I explained of closing out those apps. It's actually working your phone harder to turn them off and reopen them every time than it is to just leave them running. It also creates I don't know the technical term for it because I wasn't in Genius Bar, but it creates like a failure ticket thing in your diagnostic system. Interesting. That is like something was wrong with this app. Yeah. So, because when you close it out, the reason that you're supposed to close out is if something goes wrong, like it freezes. Yeah. If like the internet for that app isn't working, like sometimes my Facebook won't load, but I know my Wi-Fi is fine because my Instagram is. Yeah. So close it out and reopen it, because then you're like completely powering down and reopening it fresh. And And when you power it down, it sends a diagnostic ticket to like Apple that says like something was wrong with this app, which then gets forwarded to like the bug. Like that's why there's always bug updates to your phone. It's like we're fixing bugs.
Yeah.
So like, yeah, so that's it. That's the thing, and nobody knows. And people would like argue with me. They'd be like, "Well, no, this person told me that it saves your battery," and I was like, does this person know what they're talking about? I was like,
no,
it was my nephew. Okay, but I'm trained to know the ins and outs of these phones. And then like it would take that, because it was so engraved in their brain, like everybody is so sure that you're supposed to kill the apps.
Yeah.
That they would literally like go round and round with me, and I would be like, no, like I'm not lying to you. Like I didn't just make this up. But anyways, yeah, there's your fun.
Gosh, I would never tell someone at the Apple store you're lying to me. Like the people at the Apple store to me know so much, and I'm like, oh yeah, I totally get that. Like one time at the Apple store, and they were like, you have so many photos and videos on your phone. What do you do with it? I'm like, I don't know. And the guy goes, oh, just like throw them over into Google Photos. And I was like, really? And I didn't know. I'm like, am I gonna delete them or what? And he's like, no, just put them into Google Photos, and just like
Google Photos and not iCloud.
He just said Google Photos.
Crazy. iCloud's way better.
Really? Okay, I'll have to probably go back. But
I prefer iCloud. Google's privacy policy is very scary. That's why I like the Google Pixel. They have access to like all your data on the Google phones and Google applications. But anyways, that's a different story.
So let's talk about the songs that you perform, your originals, your covers. Do you have a favorite song to perform?
Favorite song to perform, my favorite original tune to perform if I have a full band is my song Along the Way.
Mm-hmm.
And there's a catchy little guitar riff I get to play in the second verse.
Yeah.
And my favorite cover song to perform is probably Sir Duke, maybe, by Stevie Wonder.
Nice.
That's a really fun one because the band that I use are really killing, and the bass player is a wizard. He's also the saxophone player.
Mm-hmm.
And that song has the best bass line ever. So, yeah, but yeah, there you go. There's my answer.
I love that you picked a Stevie tune.
Yeah, I love singing Stevie tunes. I can never do them justice, but I love doing them regardless.
Yeah, he's so fun to listen to, and I love when people do covers of Stevie songs because they just put their own spin on it.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. I want to talk about the single that you released in June, Leave You Wanting More.
Yeah.
What inspiration behind this song?
A girl, of course. No, but yeah, I guess the description of the relationship is kind of, we were like staying together, but it didn't feel like she was like fully there, like interested. And so that's where the line of, you want to know for sure if I'm going to leave you wanting more. And then the chorus, if you need someone new, then tell me. It's just kind of like that feeling of like, I feel like we need to talk,
Mm-hmm.
but I bring it up, you push it away, or it just feels like you need something different, something more.
Yeah. And I think with relationships and the ups and downs comes great songs. Like some of the best songs.
Both my songs are really sad. And they're like, not necessarily sad, because like at the end of a relationship isn't necessarily a sad thing because it's probably for the best, but
right.
They're emotional for sure. Yeah.
Definitely emotional, but I think some of the best songs ever written have come out of difficult times, whether it's in a relationship or just like a difficult time in someone's life.
Yeah, definitely.
So let's talk about what's coming up in the next couple months. Do you have any tour dates coming up, singles, live shows? Talk to us.
Yeah. No tour right now. I have a writer's round in September in Nashville.
Mm-hmm.
About that. I actually don't remember the exact date right off the top of my head.
Mm-hmm.
That'll be on my Instagram. I am back in Grand Rapids for playing a charity thing, but I don't know if that's public, so probably no need to promote that. And then September 23rd, I'm in Nashville too with a full band show that I will be posting location and whatnot for that.
Okay.
New single in a little less than a month, which we haven't fully announced yet, so I won't tell you who it's with and whatnot, but it is a duet, so there will be another artist featured on that. And this one's, I'm like really stoked about this song. We worked on it a long time last year, and I wrote it when I was in the hotel, actually, because being locked in a hotel, the song kind of like talks, it's inspired kind of like by depression.
Yep.
And, being stuck in a hotel room for 8 days can definitely spark some depression, but so that comes out in a little less than a month, and that's going to be a good one. I'm stoked about that. So you'll see that on my page as well.
Very cool. So tell everybody that's watching right now how they can follow you on social media. Just plug all the social media channels that you're on.
Yeah. Instagram is Bradley Sinclair Music. As you see, my Twitter is B Sinclair Music, I think. I just started. I made a TikTok a few months ago and posted like 4 videos, but I need to get on that more. I think that my TikTok is Bradley Music, I think. But if you go to bradleysinclair.com, there's links to all my tunes. My YouTube page is just Bradley Sinclair as well. Mm-hmm. Yeah, we did a in-studio live performance, like an acoustic version of my new single, Leave You Wanting More. Yeah. So that's my page as well, so check that out.
Awesome. So for all the beautiful people that are watching right now, how can they support you as a musician? What can they do?
Yeah. Streaming music is huge, because the more that you stream it, the more I have opportunities for it to get playlisted and promoted more. That's the only annoying part about streaming, is you kind of have to have streams to get streams.
Right.
The more streams you get, the more streams you get, which is a little confusing, but yeah. Tunes, listen to them, give them a chance. If you like them, throw them on a playlist. The more times they get put on like personal playlists, it also helps like the algorithms and whatnot. Mm-hmm. And then go see shows for people that are in your area. If you have the ability to go see a show, do it. Buy a ticket. Support artists that come to you. Hopefully, I will be traveling sometime within the next year. So we'll see. But yeah.
Just stream the music.
Listen to the music. Give artists a chance that don't have 100 million streams, because I bet you might even like the music better.
I completely agree with that. I'm telling you, I listen to a lot of like popular music, if you will. I love the people that maybe only have like 2,000 or 3,000 followers on Instagram, like people that nobody knows yet. And then it's awesome because someone's like, oh my God, Ashley, you should check this person out, or Discover Weekly recommends somebody. I'm like, I've never heard of this person, but thanks for the recommendation. Yeah.
And I'm a pop music slut too. Like, I love pop music. Yeah. But definitely give the little guys a chance too, if you see them too, because you might not be disappointed. Yeah.
The little guys are awesome.
Yeah.
So that's all the questions I have for you this evening, but you are going to perform.
That was a very skilled interview.
Oh, thank you.
Perfect amount of time left for the last tunes.
Yeah.
Sorry, go ahead.
Oh, take it away. This is your performance part of the show.
Oh, yeah, I'm going to sing some songs, everybody.
Yay.
I was going to do 2 songs on guitar, and I kind of forgot about the single I just released, so I should probably sing that one to like promote that. So I'm gonna do one on piano, but you can't see the piano. But I am playing it. See? Is that too loud? How's the lowest? Good. All that I have is not all that I wanted. 'Cause I wanted love, but you gave me nothing. That spring when you first held my hand, I could have sworn we stood a chance. Once we were close, now we're closer to falling. And everything I thought we were is come and gone. If you need someone new, then tell me. Say something, I'm so sick of the silence. It's like we're lovers, and all of a sudden, I don't know what happened. You said you were happy. So if you need someone new, then tell me. How many times will you tell me you're sorry? You're in and you're out, and it's so confusing. You said you want to know for sure if I will leave you wanting more. I think that you know it's just hard to be honest. And everything I thought we were is come and gone. So if you need someone new, then tell me. And say something, I'm so sick of the silence. It's like we were lovers, and all of a sudden, I don't know what happened. You said you were happy. So if you need someone new, then tell me. And everything I thought we were is come and gone. It's a very eerie ending on piano.
Yes! That was awesome. And I feel like we've all been in that situation where it's like, if you don't want to be with me, just tell me. Like, stop being silent.
Yeah. Relatable lyrics, that's always the goal. Right?
Definitely.
That song is called Leave You Wanting More.
Mm-hmm.
It's released on all streaming platforms. I was going to do another tune called Along the Way, which is also released, but I just wrote a song a couple weeks ago that I am going to do instead.
Okay.
Because I like it, and it's fun.
Yeah.
This is a song called Every Love Song Metaphor. You have not found a way to say I love you, but I'll try to say it anyway. 'Cause the words that I am thinking are things I've never felt before. It's like a rushing wave. Every love song metaphor, and when you said to me that maybe this word really gave me realization, they kicked me off the curb, and darling, I wanna tell you endlessly. Oh, I know that you were not expecting this from me. But if I'm being honest, I thought of you and me, it has always been a dream. There's been a lot of back and forth, there's been a lot I had ignored. But now I know that you're mine. Every love song metaphor, 'cause when you said to me that maybe this world, well, it gave me realization. It kicked me off the curb, and darling, I wanna tell you that I will never change this melody. And I wanna show you how much I'd love to keep your company. Oh, and I wanna hold you like no one has and no one would believe. Oh, 'cause I wanna love you endlessly. That's that one.
Yes, that was awesome. What was the name of that one?
That song is called Every Love Song Metaphor. That song that doesn't exist anywhere. It's new.
Oh, so I got the exclusive?
You got the exclusive.
Yes! So Hannah said, this is a bop. Love it. Thank you, Hannah.
Thank you, Hannah.
So you have some time for a couple questions?
For sure. If people
awesome. So if anybody has questions for Bradley, feel free to put them in the chat below.
We will sit here awkwardly.
Yeah.
Wow.
What song do you wish you wrote and why?
Oh gosh, so many songs. There's so many songs I wish I wrote. The most recent one that pops into my head was one that I did at a show as one of the covers I played, and it's an Alan Stone tune. It's called Consider Me.
Yeah.
And I played it after the show and said that. I was like, man, I wish I wrote that song. Consider Me by Alan Stone is a great one. I think the most the highest, what is the one that has the most? Despacito, money wise. Oh. Despacito, that's made the most money of any song ever, I think. Well,
I think so too.
YouTube views of any YouTube video ever, other than Baby Shark.
Yeah, I would. Yeah, some people would say Baby Shark, but
yeah, I kind of wish I wrote Baby Shark. That guy is rolling in it. I guarantee you. Yeah.
I love that you picked an Alan Stone song though, because he is such a phenomenal songwriter.
Mm-hmm. He is very good.
Mm-hmm. Where do you see your career in 5 years?
Oh gosh, I would like to be touring regularly and making a living off of music. Mm-hmm. That's really all I want. So hopefully I'm there in 5 years. If not, I've gone terribly wrong.
Mitch says, when is that song?
Is this guy?
Mitch wants to know, when is that song being released?
It doesn't have a release date. I have to record it first. So we don't know. Never cutting my hair.
What's the best piece of advice you've ever been given?
The way I kind of took advice was somebody told me that when I'm making music, I shouldn't be making music like for what I think is going to be like the most popular music, or like the music that people want to listen to, and just to make music that like it comes the most naturally to me.
Yeah.
Because for a while I was trying to like force writing of certain tunes that that didn't really make, like they weren't coming natural to me. And when I started just writing tunes that were like came off natural and felt real, they also ended up being tunes that I think that people would listen to. So
yeah, I think staying true to yourself is so important, because as a musician, sometimes people are like, oh my gosh, but I want to be on the pop charts, or I want to be on the R&B charts, and they try to like conform their sound into something. But I definitely you need to put music out that feels good to you and you're passionate about, because fans feel that sincerity and that genuineness.
Most definitely. Yeah.
Mm-hmm. So Bradley, any final words for the room?
I don't think so. Just listen to the tunes. Listen to stream them on Spotify and Apple Music, and that would be dope.
Yeah.
Thanks so much for having me. I had a blast.
Yes, of course. This was so much fun. Guys, stream the music, put it on playlist, share the music, comment the music, go to the website. New stuff is coming. And Bradley, I just want to say thank you so much for coming on the show. Guys, if you don't already, please make sure to follow Bradley, because new music is coming. And if you don't, follow me. I'm Ashley Live. This is Vibin with Ashley Live. And if you love good music and you love good interviews and you enjoyed yourself tonight, give us both a follow. All right?
Thanks, guys. Thanks, Ashley.
Thank you, Bradley. Have a good night.
You too. Bye.